When a person brings an animal into a campus building, there is often confusion regarding whether it should be allowed. The following presentation concerning service animals on campus can help ease that confusion. Under the ADA, a service animal is a dog or miniature horse that has been individually trained to do work or perform tasks for an individual with a disability. The task or tasks performed must be directly related to the person's disability. The animal must be trained to take a specific action when needed to assist the person with a disability. For example, a person with diabetes may have a dog that is trained to alert him when his blood sugar reaches high or low levels. A person with depression may have a dog that is trained to remind her to take her medication. Or a person who has epilepsy may have a dog that is trained to detect the onset of a seizure and then help the person remain safe during the seizure. The only animal that must be allowed is a service animal. The only campus environments that the animal should not be allowed to enter are those with significant safety concerns, like an active construction site, or environments that must be kept sterile, like a lab in which special suits must be worn. Only dogs or miniature horses can be service animals. The breed of the dog does not matter, and a person is allowed to have more than one service animal. If you can tell why a person may have a service animal, it is best not to question it. However, if it is not apparent, there are only two questions that can be asked. Is the animal a service animal required because of a disability? What work or task has the animal been trained to do? If the person answers no to the first question, it is not a service animal. If the person says yes to question 1, the answer to question 2 must be a task, such as guiding, retrieving, or alerting. The person must not be required to demonstrate the task. Emotional support or comfort is not a task. Satisfactory answers to the two questions means the animal is a service animal. No other inquiry should be made. The handler does not have to provide any documentation, and the animal is not required to wear anything identifying itself as a service animal. The animal must be housebroken, and the handler must always have control of the animal, including but not limited to harnessing, noise monitoring, taking the animal to appropriate outdoor spaces so it may relieve itself, and any cleanup. Leashes and harnesses are not the only form of harnessing. For instance, a carrier for a small dog would be appropriate. Control of the animal does not mean that it has to be in the grip of the handler. The animal's task may require some freedom of movement, or the handler may be engaging in an activity that does not require the animal, like listening to a lecture. If the animal is not a service animal or is not being properly handled, ask the person to remove it, but emphasize that he or she is welcome to come back in without it. If the person would like to file a grievance, refer him or her to the campus ADA director. If the person refuses to leave, call campus police. In Tennessee, service animal trainers are afforded the same rights as service animal handlers and have the same expectations. However, they may be asked for credentials. Also, all dogs, including service dogs, must have an up-to-date rabies vaccination and show proof, which is usually a medallion. It is a great idea for students or employees with service animals to document their access needs with the Disability and Access Center or Human Resources because of the long-term relationship that they will have with the campus, but that cannot be mandated. The animal is working. If you would like to pet or associate with the animal, always ask. And if you are told no, please do not take offense. The animal is an extension of the handler and is essential to the person's ability to participate in all the campus has to offer. Thank you for your time and feel free to contact the Disability and Access Center with any questions.